Hello, once again to Functional Wellbeing New Beginnings podcast with Michelle and with Miss Glynnis Thatch. We are wrapping up this series. This is our fourth session together, and we hope you glean a lot of information that we have shared in the first three sessions. The first one being we introduced Miss Glynnis to you, we introduced what her passion is about, and it's about helping others. That's the same passion I have. Go figure. Hence the team up together. We come together and then we talked about the digestive system, give you a kind of breakdown of what the role of the digestive system is. We looked at things that may interrupt or disrupt the digestive system. And then we talked about what was leaky gut. What is leaky gut all about? Again, looking at things that can create an issue for you in having leaky gut and some of the symptoms and signs you can find happening with you if you have that problem. Today, we're kind of going to bring it all together. We are bringing all the information together by sharing ways that you could implement right away in helping yourself heal. Glynnis and I, we are all about functional medicine and functional nutrition. So we are hoping that you can follow right along and get started today as soon as possible. Even write these things down so that you can get started today to feel and look good in your skin. You know, when you look at yourself in the mirror, you feel like, oh, this is the person I want to be right now. We want you to not have the brain fog. We are here to help you feel better and live better. All right. Our affirmation that we have this whole month is, by now I should know it by heart, but I don't, so I'm going to read it. I am willing to trust myself. I am willing to trust life. I am willing to trust the goodness of others. And that is our affirmation we are sharing with you. We want you to carry it through for the rest of the year. Trust yourself. Trust what life's giving you now. You did not come to this podcast by happenstance. You came here to learn. We want you to learn with us so that we can all feel better as we proceed in our life and our healthy lifestyle in the future. Yes. Hi, Miss Glynnis. How are you doing today?
Hello. I am doing well. Thank you. Thank you, Michelle.
Yes, we are happy to have you on board, and we're gonna talk a little bit more. We want to kind of summarize what we've been talking about, give people an idea of where we started off. We are talking about the gut, and we're talking about gut health, and we want to understand that gut health is basically there are things that can happen to have poor digestion. If you're not digesting your foods properly, we are going to have poor digestion. And how does that show up in our body? There are many things that can indicate that we are having poor digestion. One of them is brain fog, as simple as it is. It is aligned to that. You can also think about irregular bowel movements. I know some people who don't use the bathroom to number 2 every day. That is toxic. If nobody tell you that before, we telling you that. That's toxic. You need to use the bathroom, right, Glynnis?
Yes. So important to go and to go regularly to get that stuff out of your body.
Yes. Poor sleep is another one. Now, there are many things, but we're just mentioning a few right now. Bloating and lots of gas. So if you're feeling gaseous all the time, when you finish eat, you have gas. Before you eat, you have gas. Something is wrong in your digestive system. And as we said before, your digestive system is all the way from your mouth straight down to your anus, all the parts thereof, your stomach, your small intestines, your large intestines, your esophagus, salivary glands, liver, they all play a part in having good digestion. But if something is wrong in any of these areas, we can have poor digestion. And if we have poor digestion, we are not getting the nutrients that we need.
Right. And I've found that a lot of people may not actually have heard about leaky gut. It is starting to become more well known and talked about. Even sometimes when they say gut, now the term microbiome is becoming more heard, and just know this one thing, that it is definitely caused by the way we eat, and there is a way to heal it. And that's some of the things that we're going to be talking to you guys about today, because we want you to have that healthy microbiome, or that healthy gut, that will make you feel so much better in the long run.
Yes.
And help to reverse some things that you're going through.
Right. Think about acne, think about migraines, also autism or sensory issues. Those things are symptoms, maybe symptoms of poor digestion and leaky gut. Allergies, asthma, it may be environmental, but if it's affecting you a lot more than you think, you can address it through healing your gut. Yes. We also want to think of any autoimmune disorder. And autoimmune, think of your immune system. If it's not working on up to par, you can be sick by getting a flu or cold versus getting rheumatoid arthritis. It's a vast range of things you can have wrong with you. Hashimoto disease, thyroid issues. There are so many things can happen if you have not effective, but affected immune system. Yes. We want to know that these things, all these symptoms that we see happening out there, just edema in your hands, arthritis, those are things that are affected by a poor digestive system. So we want to share.
Hello, New Beginnings podcast listeners. I'm Aaron, and I'm the $100 guy, because I get people rebates of at least $100 per year on their prescriptions. Here's how it works. Every time you fill a prescription, you get a rebate check for $25. It doesn't matter which medication, it doesn't matter how much it costs, it doesn't matter if your current insurance already covers it or not. Every time you fill a prescription, you get $25, up to $600 per year. So call or text me, Aaron, the $100 guy, at 260-467-9550 for details.
So we want to share 5 things you can do to help heal your gut. And remember, we said functional nutrition, right? So we're going with food,
right?
We're going with the things that we put into our bodies. We want to be as simple as possible. If we look at fiber, how much water we intake, our our stomach acid levels, also probiotics and enzymes. If we look at having those 5 things in balance in our system, we can start the process of healing our gut and feeling better and ridding of ourselves of these issues of migraine or acne or autism or many of the other symptoms that I mentioned before. So you want to look at fiber. Okay, Ms. Glynnis, tell them what fiber is.
So fiber is some foods that will break down easily will break down in your gut. Foods such as fruits, okay, they have fiber, right? And these things that you want to know is, right, why do you want those types of foods why do you want those types of foods? A lot of people ask, what can I eat? And what should I not eat, right?
Right.
Well, that's one of the main things that we got to know about foods with fiber, foods that, like, Michelle will tell you specifically, like, there's foods that are, every healthy food is not good for you that during this process, but you want to know what is good for you. You want to make sure that you are eating fibrous foods, fibrous vegetables, things
Yes.
that are, I'll tell you what not to do is things that are processed foods. So I always
Yeah.
like this. If it has a list on the back with ingredients, then it's not a whole food. Okay.
Right.
So yeah, that's how I
If
would.
you see in more than 3 ingredients for a food, then it's pretty much processed.
Yeah.
So that means we have to read our labels,
Right.
right? So fiber, we have both the soluble and the insoluble fibers. And the fruits, most fruits are soluble fibers. You can intake it. It helps when you need to heal your system. These are the foods that you want to eat. You don't want to eat the foods, even though, let me rephrase that. You can eat some insoluble foods, such as broccoli and there's a list. Let me pull out the list. So some of these foods, the insoluble foods, eggplant, celery, bell peppers, green beans, whole peas, snow peas, snap peas, peas in a pod, cauliflower, broccoli, cabbage, pak choy, or you also say bok choy, Brussels sprouts. These are some really good vegetables, but they are insoluble in nature, in which it can irritate an already unhealthy gut lining.
Right.
So if you want to eat these foods, what they suggest is actually to take the stems off and eat the leaves of it. So for me, if I have to do that with cabbage, I ain't not eating cabbage because that's a lot of breaking apart that you have to do. Versus like kale, you want to eat the kale leaves and not the stem,
Yes.
right? You want to eat these foods. Actually, you want to also steam these foods. You don't want to eat them raw.
Yeah.
Preferably steamed, not raw, so that you would be able to digest the food easier. You want the nutrients from it, but you want to be able to digest these foods easier. So every other week, I would normally put up 3 foods you could do that will help, say, heal your gut or for cancer fighting. One of the foods I had on there was apples. Apples are a great fruit to eat and great to eat in the morning time, midday, even in the afternoon. Again, just don't eat the stem. Nobody eats the core of the apple, I would hope. Some people do, but avoid eating the core of the apple. But you can eat the apple skin.
Mhm.
But if you already have a flare up going on, avoid the skin and the stems of these foods. Some of the vegetables you want to try to eat things like carrots or squash. Like it's summertime, so you have the summer squash. You want to eat those. Parsnip, radishes, even yuca. So the starchy type vegetables. So I'm not saying don't eat vegetables, don't eat starch, carbs, but you want to eat these things that can help give you the fiber that you're looking for. What fiber does, it helps propel the system. Okay, so after the food goes through the small intestine and it's broken down, once it gets the nutrients that it needs from it, it's going to send down the rest of things that need to come out. The fiber will help that easy flow of things going down the large intestines or the colon. All right. We also want to be able to have, other than fiber, the second one was water.
Mm.
Big, 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 and very huge, important asset to our body. Water is necessary. You want to talk a little bit more on that water for me,
Yeah,
Glennis?
listen, we are made with water. Part of our bodies are water. And one of the really main things, like getting your water, you must have that hydration. You want to keep things moving through your system. When people are dehydrated, that they can have an increase in heart rate. They can have headaches. They also can have constipation, because they're just not getting enough fluid in their body. And so it's really important to drink plenty of water. And while we're talking about water, you don't want to just drink any water, right? You want to make sure, because we talked about acids, right, in our gut. So
Yep.
it's
That's
okay.
the
Go
third
ahead.
one. We looking
Yeah,
at the
make sure
stomach
you're
acid. Mhm.
yeah, make sure you're getting some alkaline water in there sometimes, just mix it up, but make sure that you are drinking plenty of water. It's so, so important. I tell people at least half of your body weight in ounces is what you really need to really be getting that enough hydration. Like thinking about thinking about watering a yard that's not healthy, and you know how sometimes you'll just see it flooding. It's not being hydrated. So you have to really think about hydration and how important that is to your body.
Yes. And for those who are normally working outside in the sun, you may need to drink more water.
Right, if you're sweating it
Or
off,
yes.
you gotta
And
get
if you all also have a flare up, most people might want to decrease the amount of water that they're drinking, but you actually need to drink more to help
Mhm,
to heal your gut.
mhm,
Water, we're going to go straight into the third one, your stomach acid levels.
mm,
Actually, if you're dehydrated, your acid levels will be higher than what it's supposed to be. The normal pH system of the stomach should be 3. That's the pH number count. You want it 3 and under. If it gets higher, it's going to be a problem. The food is actually not breaking down so much. That's one step in the stomach for the food to break down, but it needs to break down even more in the small intestines. If it is you're not drinking enough water, that acid level could go up in your esophagus. That's where people talk about acid reflux and stuff like that. You're not
mm,
drinking enough water. The esophagus not supposed to be as acidic as the stomach. We want to make sure that we have that balance of how much acidity is going in the digestive system. So if you're dehydrated, that's going to create a leaky gut problem.
right.
You want to be able to make sure that the lining of your the mucosal lining of your stomach it has an ample amount of hydrochloric acid. They actually need the water to make the amount of hydrochloric acid that you want in your stomach to help break down the food. So if we're not drinking enough water, then we are creating a problem to digest food.
Mhm,
And once you can't digest the food, then you may have issues of constipation, which we don't want. That is keeping toxins in your body, and we don't want that. The fourth one we're going to look at, because they all are connected, is looking at probiotics. Probiotics, most likely maybe hearing that going around, floating around, that word probiotics
yeah,
floating around. We look at that as the good army bacteria in your system. You want the probiotics to be there to kill off or fight off any bad bacteria that are inside your body. If you already have a low probiotic or good bacteria in your system, then you can be creating that environment for a leaky gut, because the bad bacteria is going to just gobble up the nutrients from the food, and then you're not going to get the nutrients from the food, even if you try to eat healthy. So probiotics, some probiotics, does anybody know about kombucha? Have you heard of kombucha or kefir? Yogurt is one, but we want to kind of, if you do yoga, do like the plant-based one. Again, we're looking at, if you have a flare-up happening, you want to kind of stay away from the fully processed foods. You want to stay on the part of the more raw whole foods to consume, so that you would be able to have less processing to happen when you're trying to digest these foods to help heal you. If you have in your digestive system, if you don't have these probiotics or the correct amount of hydrochloric acid, for instance, in your stomach, you could have stomach ulcers. So again, you see how much food plays a part in how it affects the health of our gut. So we haven't even talked about medication, and we only talking about food, things that you can get in the store. Go, just start simple. Start with the food.
Yeah, I like to say that too. Like when we talk about how to heal it, just talking about removing the processed foods, mentioning, look at the labels. Okay. You want something that has no added sugar, no GMOs, and really remove refined oils, any kind of things that have synthetic additives in there. And like she said, conventional dairy products. You want to remove those, because what that will do, that's the first step to getting back to your healthy microbiome. And it's really important, like, to get that microbiome where it's more healthy. Why? Because it really does promote health all over your body.
Yes.
You know, it really does help promote health all over your body. I hear people saying, like you were saying, they're constipated, or even their joints are achy, you know, or they're swelling. And, you know, just because you're getting older does not mean that you have to be achy and swollen joints and you can't move. But that's where you this process will really help restore your health and you know, make you feel younger. Because it doesn't mean that you have to walk around saying, well, I'm just getting older, or, you know, I'm just falling apart. No. We can turn that around for you.
Yes.
We'll take our advice here and really kind of listen to some and take the suggestions to heart and really give them a try.
Yeah.
It's Aaron, the $100 guy again, because I want you to meet one of my clients, Natalie.
Hello.
She also happens to be my wife.
Since 2012.
Natalie, are you on any prescriptions?
Yes, I am.
And how much was I able to save you?
Over $300 a year.
And how does it work?
I pick up my medicine from Walgreens, I upload the receipts to your website, and a few weeks later, a rebate check arrives in the mail.
And it's that easy. Call or text me, Aaron, the $100 guy, at 260-467-9550 for details.
Yeah, and we look at probiotics, the digestive enzymes. That's the fifth one, which kind of go hand in hand with the probiotics. Most of the times, people are like, "Where do I get digestive enzymes? How can I find that?" Yes, it's suggested to do some supplementing, and I've done supplementing. I have clients who are doing supplement. I use a particular supplement that has the amylase, lipase, the probalase. We want to have the enzymes in us, but one of the basic, and actually not so basic, is actually one of the best foods to get digestive enzymes is pineapple. Pineapple has, is it bromelain? I think I'm saying the right word. That is an enzyme that helps us to digest our food. So if you eat the pineapple with your food, so say for example, in eating chicken or your lunch or your dinner, eat pineapple with your foods. Sometimes I show people how to make a pineapple tea with the skin. I use everything. If you saw one of those videos, I use everything. I'll eat my slices, yes, but I'm also going to take the skin of the peel of the pineapple. I will draw it. That's what we call it, drawing, by boiling it to get the nutrients out of it, and I'll make a tea with it so that I have a tea to use to help my system digest foods better. Some people like to mix meats. That's a good thing to make sure. You have the lemons, for instance. You want to use things like lemon to help balance your pH while eating foods. And you will be able to eat the foods that you want to eat. However, if you already have a flare-up going on, I would tell you to avoid acidic foods. So meats are acidic. And if you have a flare-up, if you're hurting right now, you're having arthritis pain, you're having migraines, take some time off from eating meat. Because remember, meat is one of the last things that's going to be digested or broken down in your system. It's a protein. And if you're giving our liver a lot of work to do to break down proteins, after a while, this detoxifying organ is not going to be able to detoxify anything because it's tired. So guess what? It's not going to break down the protein, and you're not going to get the nutrients from the protein. Instead, you'll be trying to pass it out. And if you're not eating enough fiber, it's not going to come down. Then you're going to have colon problems. You'll be constipated. You could end up having IBS.
Oh,
all sorts of things could be happening.
Sounds terrible.
It does.
I know. And I was thinking about another food that is really good. And it's foods with omega-3 fatty acids. Those are really great. And then I know that, you mentioned meat. So think about, if you're really wanting to have some type of a meat, think about salmon, right? Or any other wild caught fish, because that's nice and light, and it has the omega-3 fatty acids.
Yes.
So it's really going to be good and healing to your gut. Okay.
Yes. Omega-3s are one of the best God-given supplements that you want to have, and you can find it in fish. Some people, they like trout or salmon. You could halibut. There are many different fish out there that you could try. You want the meats that are kind of fatty. I call it fatty meats. The tunas, the grouper. You want that type of meat, but you want the wild caught one. You don't want farm raised, because then again, that is something processed. You're going to hurt yourself eating things like that. Plant-based omega-3s. We have flax seeds. We have chia seeds. We have the oh my gosh, it just was in my head. Avocado.
Yes.
Avocado.
Very
good. You want to have those things to help omega-3s, to help your full system, because it helps everything from brain fog to reducing Alzheimer issues. People don't know that, but it does help that. We also have foods like the Brussels sprouts, the lemons, the garlics to help support your liver. So again, you're trying to look at foods that can help your systems work to the best of its ability to reduce any issues happening around the body. And where do we start with it? Through the digestive system, through the things that we consume. We have shared a lot of information here today for you guys. And as a functional medicine practitioner, as a functional life coach or practitioner, we want you to understand that we can do things that are very simple to help have a healthy lifestyle. And we want you to know that you can turn to us if you want to ask questions, find out more information, to feel better, and find somebody that can support your goals of wanting to live better. Next steps for you guys. So Glynnis has this month, and is it every 2 weeks, Glynnis?
Yes. So every 2 weeks, I have a
Mhm.
webinar to teach women how to just to really to understand more about what's really happening. Things that you don't have time, where your doctor doesn't have time to explain to you in the office with a 20-minute visit. But we take the time out to really learn more about brain fog, belly fat, and fatigue, why they're happening, and even give you some solutions. And with my business, the Glynnis Thatch Consulting LLC, I can offer you one-on-one coaching, all right, so that I can teach you ways to restore your health and really reverse disease. Okay, so you're welcome. You can find my event on Facebook on the event page. It's free to attend, and there's just a registration for it. All right. The registration is free, but this way I can just track who's coming, and I can follow up with you if you do have any questions. So I am so excited that, I have the opportunity to help people, because that's my passion, is really helping women to understand what's really going on.
Yes, and that's similar sentiments here. I'm here also to help you. This is why I do things like this, so
Yes.
that we can all be able to understand that we need to take onus of ourselves, and we need to trust ourselves to find the right options to help us live and feel better. Just as Glynnis suggested, to follow her, listen to her live webinar. You can get answers. She may be talking about similar things, because remember, we just talked about brain fog, weight gain. Also, so we want you to understand that we are all connected. And in our body, we are all connected, but we are yet still individuals. And if we're individuals, we have to find out what's wrong with us and why things are happening with us. One of the programs I have available for you at Functional Wellbeing is my 90-day functional nutrition program for you. Why 90 days? I want to kind of kickstart for you an idea of what foods you currently need to be eating. So I said currently, because next 2 years, it might be something else. Our lives, our bodies are changing with our life. And every time we get older, we are changing. So whatever is going on currently with you, I would like to help you understand, okay, these are the foods that I would suggest you have as a meal plan for this month, following the second month, and then the third month. While you're doing these meal plans, we are tracking information. Yes, we have to, because that's the only way I would know if it's working, for
Right.
us to be able to do it the second month, or if we need to take something out of the meal plan and add something in. We want to see how you're feeling, how's your mood, as simple as knowing how you feel. If you're depressed, if you're happy now, or oh my gosh, I actually went off 3 times this week. FYI, some people don't go off that often. We want to be able to track these things, to see where you're at and see where you're going. So that functional nutrition 90 days program is a simple way to get started, to learn what's right for you. And we are doing this with food. I haven't told you about supplements yet. I just want you to start with food. Because, like, when I train my clients at the gym, they were like, what supplements are supposed to be taken or whatever? I'm like, no. Have you been eating 5 times a day? No, I eat once. I was like, okay, we have a problem. Let's start off with food. Where are you now? How much times you eating for the day? What are you eating for the day? Are we eating too many processed foods? Those are the things that we are going to look into. And this is not a matter of bashing anybody. It's all about trying to help ourselves feel better.
It's a
Yes?
lifestyle change, and
Yes.
it's one that you want to do if you really want to feel better, and you will
Yes.
feel better. I guarantee it.
Yes.
You
Yes.
do the things that we suggest.
Yes. Yes. So I don't want you to forget, on Thursday, the 27th at 8 p.m. We are doing a live stream. You would find the link to a StreamYard link, and Glynnis and I want to answer your questions or find out what you've been doing. Have this information been something that you wanted? Do you want more things like this happening? We just want to communicate with you guys and share, recap what we talked about and see if you have any questions for us. Okay? Yay! So thank you so much, Glynnis, for partnering up with me today and for the month of July. And I'm happy we did this together.
Yes, this has been wonderful. Thank you so much, Michelle. I'm really happy to be able to pour into your functional well-being clients and your community. And this is what we do. We love it.
Yes, we do. We do.
Yeah, so thank you for having
all
me.
day. All right. So our affirmation, we're not going to forget the affirmation. I am willing to trust myself. I am willing to trust life. I am willing to trust the goodness of others. See, I got it. I trust myself.
Awesome.
All right. This has been Functional Wellbeing New Beginnings podcast with Michelle and Miss Glynnis. Thank you guys for listening in. We will see you soon.
Bye.